Hey everybody, this is Pastor KZ, and you are watching the All About Favor channel. Today's episode is Testimony Tuesday. As I stated a couple of days ago, I was going to have a live person come in and give their testimony, but unfortunately at the last minute they called and let me know that they were very, very sick with the virus. So we're going to postpone that until after the holidays. But if this is your first time watching, welcome to my channel. For those of you who are subscribers, thank you again for supporting the channel. And as always, I continue to ask you, please hit the thumbs up button, like, share, and comment on the videos. Please like, share, and comment. YouTube love you doing this for their algorithm, y'all. It's free to subscribe. It's free to just hit the like button. Please do that for me, okay? Now, today, since we're coming upon the holidays, I'd like to share some testimonies to you about some people who came through and they beat the odds in spite of what the enemy said, in spite of what the doctors say. The testimony that I'd like to share today is a testimony of a woman who was full of grace, full of wisdom, and this was one of the women who was very instrumental in my life in raising me, and that is my grandmother. My grandmother, back in the early 70s, was stricken with a really bad asthmatic attack. She had a real bad case of asthma, which went undiagnosed for years and years, and it landed her in the hospital. And at that time, they had tubes connected to her and everything. And they gave my grandmother 10 minutes to live. All I remember, and at that time, I think I was about 11 or 12 years old at that time, and they wouldn't let me go in the room to visit her. The rules are a little bit different now, but I couldn't go in to visit her. But I remember walking out of that hospital, going to the parking lot upstairs in the parking garage, and I just got down on my knees in that garage, and I began to just say these words: God, I'm a little girl, and I don't know if you hear me. I don't even know if you will answer a child's prayer, but God, don't take her. Don't take her. Give me more time with her. And as a result, after some days, one of my aunts, God rest her soul, who's now gone on to be with the Lord, said that she had a dream and she saw my grandmother, which is her mother, in the hospital bed, sitting up with all of the tubes and everything removed from her. And she said when she awakened from that dream, she said her spirit just felt okay. She didn't feel that heaviness anymore. The very next day, when they went in that hospital with my grandfather and my other aunts and my mother to visit my grandmother, she was sitting up, y'all, in that hospital bed, just like my aunt dreamed it. And I just want to tell you all, after that day, when my grandmother came back, after being given 10 minutes to live, I just remember as a child saying, God, whatever you need me to do, I will serve you the rest of my life because you answered my prayer. You did what I asked you to do. Now, about 10 to 25 years later, my grandmother was in great health. She was really well, had not had another asthma attack. In the year 2006, my grandmother's made me give her a promise. She said, whatever you do, when it's time for me to go, let me go. Let me go because I have fought a good fight. I don't want to go in the hospital or on no machines. I just want to go and naturally go home to be with the Lord. And in 2006, my grandmother went home to be with the Lord. I did not cry because I was sad of how she passed. It was such a beautiful thing. But I cry because I miss her. I miss her wisdom. I miss her just loving on me, rubbing my head, just speaking life into me when the days I didn't feel like going on. I miss that lady. But I tell you, she had so many testimonies, and because of her teaching and her tutelage, I too learned the importance of testimonies, and I too am a living testimony. You know, I enjoy sharing testimonies with you and talking about testimonies with you because there's so many out there. There's so many people out there who were given up, not just for dead for physical problems, but there's so many people. I heard a lady the other day saying there was a time that she was in and out of mental institutions. She thought she would lose her mind. She just was gripped with the spirit of anxiety and depression. She said they diagnosed her with clinical depression, and she said she would fall into these depressive states until where she just didn't want to live anymore, until she just was in a very dark place. But she said, but if you look at me now, Pastor, I am such a happy person. I got joy in my life. I've removed myself from some of the situations and from some of the people that kept me in a dark place, and I thank God for it. So when I say testimonies are important, we have a testimony just in the fact of the things that some of you don't even look like what you've been through. I want to talk directly to somebody right now. You have gone through a very, very, very severe state of anxiety. You have even had panic attacks before, where your stress level and you're so anxious and just like your thoughts running, your mind just running, running, running. And I just want to speak to somebody who's experienced that today. It's easy to say, calm down, take some deep breaths, take yourself out of the situation. But some situations you can't remove yourself from. Some of you are struggling right now with some emotional things going on. And remember that day when I talked about feeling numb? Some of you are struggling with that really bad. You don't feel anything. And my question becomes, what got you to that point? And for those of you who were struggling and going through the anxiety and just the panic attacks, what got you there? What helped you get there? And from where you are right now, what is helping you right now deal and cope with that? And I know some people say, well, it's easy for you, Pastor, because you're a pastor. Hey, preachers don't supposed to feel things. You know the Lord. You know what? I was doing some studies and talking to some of my colleagues in the ministry, and I don't know if you all are aware of this, but one of the number one rates of suicide happens to men and women in the ministry because they're so busy trying to lift other people up, and they're putting on this facade that everything with them is okay. But you all got to understand, we as ministers, we are humans. We have lives just like you do. We have children, we have husbands or men, they have wives. You have to run your home, you got bills to pay, you got different things going on. Plus, on top of it all, you got to stand before God's people in spite of what you're going through, and you got to be able to give the people of God a word. But you got to be in a place where you can hear a word and receive a word from the Lord, because the word of the Lord, it cuts both ways. Usually before I preach a word, it's already cut me first. So don't think I'm just trying to say anything to cut you down or make you feel shamed or anything. I'm just trying to let you know I can speak to you about testimonies because I am one. I can speak to you about stress because I have had stress. I can speak to you about depression because I have been there before. I can speak to you about anxiety because I have been there before. I can talk about people betraying you, hurting you to the core because I've experienced that. I can talk to you about divorce because I have experienced divorce. So when I speak to you about these things, I am sharing things and offering you all the opportunity to share your testimony, share your truths, share your pain, and share your joy as well, because we know that weeping endureth for a night, but joy comes in the morning. And you know what? For me, joy came one morning. I don't know about your story, but if you keep holding on and you keep fighting and keep pressing on and pushing your way through, you're going to experience a level of joy. Do not give up. you're going to have another bigger testimony, because notice I said you will have another, because he woke you up this morning. That's a testimony. That's something to testify about. You know what? Many of you survived some things. You've survived some hurt. You've survived some disappointments. You've survived some things from childhood. That's a testimony. Do you know what it's like, some of you, for you all to say, Pastor KZ, I went through something as a child. I can't believe I'm still standing. That's a testimony. I want to thank you for watching today. And once again, we will attempt to have the live in studio interview again once she feels better. And just remember, you are a testimony. You have something to be thankful for. And I know with the Christmas holidays coming around, one of the major holidays that people fall into depression and discouragement is this time of the year, simply because they're looking back over the last 11 months, and you're coming upon a new year, and you're wondering, what do I do now? Where do I go from here? You have somewhere to go. You have a purpose. Your destiny still has not been fulfilled. God has so much more for you. And if you think you have a testimony right now, oh, wait until he manifests some things for you. Wait until he start opening more doors of opportunity for you. Watch how your body changes when you begin to get healed from the inside out. Watch how your joy and your smile comes back and your face clears up when you really just have that laughter, because that burden has been lifted, that weight has been lifted, and you're going to be just telling everybody that you meet, girl, I just feel so good. You don't even realize you're testifying. Thank you for watching. Don't forget, like the video, share the video, and comment on the video. I have been your host, Pastor KZ. And remember, it's Christmas season, y'all. Pastor KZ love wearing red and green this time of year. Continue to keep me in prayer as I keep you in prayer. The shoulder is still very, as you can see, swollen and bundled up, but it's still all good because I still got joy. In spite of what I've been through, I still have joy. Have a wonderful day. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you back.